mercury and with other heavy metals and adjuvants like squalene that have been included in vaccinations, the attack on, the immune system of children. Would you like to address that for a moment, please?
Oh yeah, well the World Health Organization, I mean, people don't understand what this organization does. It controls world health by making sure people don't have any. I mean, it goes out and marginalises certain countries. It's basically a front for Big Pharma. It's just a UN puppy, and it's a front for Big Pharma. They can go in there and they can introduce vaccinations in all these countries, which are going to create all sorts of problems for these countries, and then they can get Big Pharma in there and start selling them drugs to cure all the diseases that they've created with the vaccinations. And they use vaccinations to marginalise different areas and different countries. They spread AIDS with vaccinations, all this sort of stuff. I mean, it's quite sick. The World Health Organization controls health, absolutely, but it doesn't go to make people healthy. It controls health. That's what it does, and it makes sure that people aren't healthy. It makes sure that they're dependent on Big Pharma. The World Trade Organization is the same sort of thing. The World Trade Organization simply controls the flow of resources and makes sure different countries are marginalised through the control of resources. These are both just little arms of the UN. The UN's basically the precursor to the New World Order. The UN's well, they're not a good organisation. Well, the UN was formed straight after World War II, and it was formed, it's just basically a continuation of the Third Reich is what the UN really is. It's just a lot more subtle. We've seen 258 conflicts in the world since the formation of the United Nations, which was put there to end world conflicts. We hadn't had 258 conflicts in all of world history up to that point before the creation of the United Nations, and now we've just seen conflicts everywhere. We've gone into 194 countries and put bases in 194 countries since the formation of the United Nations in order to keep people safe. It's ludicrous, folks. It's absolutely ludicrous that people believe this,
In fact, most of the organizations that the United Nations is responsible for creating, the sort of little Frankenstein children of the United Nations. Another one would be Codex Alimentarius, which is the food code. Maybe we can have you address that momentarily.
Yeah, Codex Alimentarius is absolutely insidious. It was supposed to come in at the end of 2009, but they haven't managed to get it through everywhere yet because of the public outcry about it. A lot of people have been speaking out about it. Codex Alimentarius was the brainchild of a man called Fritz de Meer. Fritz de Meer was the head of IG Farben during World War II. Fritz de Meer supplied the gas for the gas chambers. He was trying to exterminate mass amounts of people. And when he got locked up in Nuremberg, he sat in jail for a few years and he went, I've got it. Control food. If we control food, we control everybody. And he got out of jail and he went to the United Nations and he said, boy, have I got an idea for you guys. And the United Nations just lapped it up. So it's all about the control of food. It's about controlling the flow of food. It's about controlling the aspects of food, controlling the nutrients in food. If you can feed nations, you can give them all this food aid, but if the food contains no nutrients, well, look, we tried to save these people, but they all died from diseases. Nothing to do with us. Look, we were giving them all this food, but it was the food that contained all the diseases. It's a perfect way to control the population. I mean, you really have to admire these people, really. These are terribly evil plans, but my God, they're clever about it. They really are. You've got to admire their tenacity, and you've got to admire their patience. I mean, this Codex plan was put in place in like 1961, and the plan was to have it fully introduced by the end of 2009. So this is a very long-term thing. This is like over 50 years or so. So you've really got to admire their tenacity, and you've got to admire their patience, although perhaps not admire them personally.
Well, that particular food code conflicts with DSHA in America, which was supposed to protect the nutrients and the nutrient suppliers. And now it looks like DSHA is likely to be overturned. So they're working hard at making our vitamins and our nutrients illegal. But then you've also got companies like Monsanto who are creating this genetically modified Frankenfood where there are no nutrients. It actually produces pesticides itself. Perhaps we can get you to address Monsanto briefly.
Oh, don't get me started on Monsanto. Monsanto. If evil exists, its human form is Monsanto. I don't like to use the word evil because there's just too many religious connotations with the word, but honestly, if evil exists, it is Monsanto. This company is responsible for so much damage that's been done in the world. These are the lovely people that brought us Agent Orange in Vietnam, that Vietnam's still suffering from. There's been so much. The corn that Monsanto produces has just been seen to kill rats, produce organ failure in rats. It's been banned in Germany.